Hi there, I'm Lulu. This is John. Welcome back to Bottled Wisdom. This is part 2 of the syndrome of bottles being hidden and then the partner, not always the partner, but the friend or relative searching for those bottles.
Has he or she been drinking?
Yeah. So we've got him making a pragmatic decision will be easier and quicker than searching for hidden bottles and getting into heated accusations and demands. If people begin to hide and lie about what they're doing, then we have to build in other ways of assessing their situations. And then brackets, you may need to explain this approach at some stage when your partner is sober-ish.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I have to say I became very adept at hiding drink. I became so adept at hiding drink that I was about 3-4 months sober and I was moving out of the house and I was still finding drink.
Gosh, really?
And I have to say, my thoughts at that situation was, well, where was that when I was looking for it, Where was that when I needed it?
So you're saying you hid it, and sometimes you were so drunk you couldn't remember where you hid it? Right, okay.
And I even hid it when my wife had left.
Really?
Yeah, I was still hiding it.
Really?
Yeah.
How fascinating.
Well, it would be for some psychiatrist.
Yeah,
How fascinating was that,
Yeah.
It became a habit, Yeah. So yeah. And of course, we both got into the sort of the game for all the family, hunt the bottle. Yes. Where is it this week?
Yes. Yeah. And so you get this on film sometimes, don't you, where the children and the partner are all finding bottles and tipping it down the drink. Thing and,
or marking it, putting a little pen mark.
I used to do that as well.
Yeah. Did you?
What I didn't do actually was to pour it down the down the drain, because that was stupid. Just make them angry, and then they go in the car.
Top it up with tea.
Yeah. The thing is that you take away the drink when they're really, when my husband's really drunk, he'd then sometimes go in the car to get more drink, so that would escalate the problem. So I kind of didn't do that. Yeah. But I think I just got to the point, and we're encouraging you to get to the point where you take your senses back. Okay? Now, obviously, at the very beginning of this little kind of a dance that you go through, when it's just odd incidences, you haven't got enough data to is it data or data? Data.
Some say tomato, some say tomato.
Okay, data to have some sort of established analysis of a pattern. So what we suggest you do, if it happens a lot, is that you take control back of the situation and you decide that your senses will be the final say as to what's going on.
Believe
yourself. Yeah.
Believe your instincts.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
99 times out of 100, you'll probably be right.
Yeah. And actually, not searching for the bottle would be a good thing to try and stop doing, because if you say to yourself, I know what's going on, I'm right, but then go off and search bottles, it's almost as if another part of you is saying, but I'm just going to make sure.
Yeah, let's look at the bottle searching situation.
Yeah.
If you find it, you'll be depressed because, he or she's drinking. Yeah. If you don't find it, you'll probably be depressed because you haven't actually found it yet.
Yeah.
So there's no good outcome in that one.
No.
Absolutely no good outcome. So why do it? Why put yourself through it?
Yeah.
And again, this is not moralistic. This is pragmatic. What you're trying to do is disassociate yourself from the drinking.
Yeah.
You don't want the drinking to be the thing that actually dictates your life. And fair enough, your drinker is drinking, and therefore it's central to your life. But you don't have to become part of that. You don't have to collude with that.
No, and actually thank you for saying that, because I didn't say that in the previous video. But the thing is, we learnt to take evasive action, but didn't know where that switch would come down. And so what would happen for me is when I found the bottle, then I'd know what was going on, the switch would come down, and then I'd go into our evasive action that we did as a family, So, but it involved an awful lot of kind of searching and energy. So this is what I did, and I think it worked for me, and I think it's workable, is I actually sat my husband down and said, look, from now on, if you look like you're drinking, you smell you're drinking, and you behave like you're drinking, I am going to assume that you are drinking, and I am therefore going to behave accordingly. And if occasionally I get it wrong, then I have to say you've got only yourself to blame because you have set this up. And if sometimes you actually are innocent of what I think is going on, then you're just going to have to suck it up because you brought this on yourself.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yes, it will do for the hundreds of times that I'd missed it.
Yes, taken to it.
Yeah.
And so, again, it was very empowering. And that's pretty well what I did. I didn't use it as a tool of retaliation. You know, I didn't think, I've made the decision, now I'm going to get angry. I just thought, okay, we know what's going on here. I believed myself. I took my senses back. Interestingly enough, when I did that, my senses became better and better because it's almost as if I'd done this to myself.
My ex-wife, at the beginning, yes, she believed what I told her. But after a while, she just didn't believe a thing, you know. And she could spot me drinking, you know, half a mile away. I mean, she just had this unerring instinct for it. Occasionally, she was wrong, but it was very, very occasionally. And then there is nothing more self-righteous than a drinker who's not been drinking. Well, I might as well go now, you know. I said that once or twice, but 99.999% of the time she was right.
And you may go through, because we've been talking about anger, then going back and saying, I know what's going on, you don't have to tell me, kind of scorn and mockery, which again makes you feel a bit powerful, but probably isn't brilliant for your relationship.
Not great, no.
So again,
it's great at a time.
Just watch that, because then you go into, and I am the knower. In this situation, I'm the one that now knows what's going on. So watch that you don't apply that in a really vindictive and scornful way. Scorn is very bad.
But the bottom line here is trust your instinct.
Yeah.
Trust your instinct. You know, you don't have to wait for confirmation from your drinker. You know, you really don't.
No. And again, giving up the searching is pretty well saying to yourself, and I'm going to trust you, and therefore I'm not going to look for evidence other than the evidence I've already been given, which is my nose, my ears, and my eyes. But I think it really is helpful if you communicate that to your partner.
Oh, aye. Yeah, you might well say excuse me. You might as well say right at the beginning, you know, this is my position, you know, and your drinker won't like it, obviously, you know, but that's because they're trying to hide it.
Yeah. And just remind us why you have to hide it.
I have to hide it because you might get upset.
Okay.
And I'm only doing it for you, dear.
Right, okay.
You know, purely and simply for you.
So you're hiding it so that you don't get remonstrations and
I'm
you don't
hiding
cause
it.
pain.
Yes, I'm hiding it because, you know, you would get upset and then you would tell me that you were upset, and then I would get upset because you were upset, and I would feel guilty and et cetera, et cetera. And also the fact that not only am I feeling guilty about upsetting you, I'm also guilty because I know really I shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Deep inside, I know this is not right, you know. So if I can hide it, then, you know, then you won't remind me of how wrong this actually is. And that's a big thing. That's why one of the things that we talk about is that addiction thrives in secrecy, you know. So if we can hide it from you, we can hide the bottles, we can hide the you know, the outcomes, the consequences, then we don't have to face it. We really don't have to face it, you know. I mean, I don't know what you did with the bottle, but if you find it, then just, you know, put it out, sit it there, then we all know it's there. So it's, you know, but trust yourself, you know, trust your instincts.
Yes.
You're probably right.
Interestingly enough, even though my partner knew that I now knew it was going on, he still hid. Even though I'd changed position and kind of knew it was going on and said, I know it's going on, he still would hide the bottle. So,
Yeah, but that's the drinker's equivalent of, you know, going, I don't hear you. You know, that's the drinker's equivalent of that. That's what they're doing. You know, they're not only trying to pull the wool over your eyes, they're trying to pull the wool over their own eyes.
and I think that's a really important observation.
Yes.
Really important. Yeah.
If I don't need to admit it out loud, then it's not happening. You know, it's the old, if a tree falls in the wood and nobody's there to hear, you know, if a drinker doesn't admit that they're an alcoholic, does that mean they're not an alcoholic? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the way it was for me, you know, if nobody could say that word out loud, you know. You know? And I've heard people saying, you know, oh, tell me I've got cancer. Don't tell me I'm an alcoholic. Yeah.
Really?
I have literally had, you know, at least 3 people I know have said that to me.
Yeah.
I just go, you know.
So if you want to know reality, you're on your own here. They're locked into a syndrome that is very powerful for them. And so take back your reality, believe your senses, take the whatever strategies you are when you know your partner's drinking. Now, obviously, this is, I live with a binge drinker. I think that when someone regularly drinks and goes on, then that is a little bit easier.
It's a bit different.
Yeah.
It's a bit different. But if you're looking for a joint decision, then, you know, you might wait a long time before you get it.
Yeah.
About, you know, joint decision about whether they're drinking, you know. So you just need to take a unilateral decision.
Yeah.
You know, and act accordingly.
It's taking control of your life again, isn't it, really?
Yes, it's another bit about an empowerment. Yeah. It's all about empowerment.
So thank you for listening. Again, pile on, you know, do comments. We'd love to hear from you. Comment on the forum. You know, we try to keep a very active presence on the website, you know, so you know us and, you know, hope you're getting to know us. And we'd love you to be active and hear from you too. We love it.
Yeah. How do you cope with this?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah.
You know, if you feel that your drinker's been drinking, what do you do?
Yeah.
Do you hunt for bottles?
Yeah.
Do you try to control that? Let us know.
Yeah.
Put a comment down there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you again soon.
Okay.
Right. Bye-bye.
Bye.